I wanted to kind of walk you through all of the steps of the completed square. A lot of these steps we did yesterday, so if you felt good about what we were doing on that first worksheet and kind of followed the logic there, then this won't be difficult. It'll just be kind of putting the ideas together, all right? So first thing we want to do is get rid of the constant term. Now, don't be alarmed here. When I say the constant term, what I mean is the number that's by itself here. Okay, so we want the x squared and the x to stay, but we want this to go away. So the first thing you're going to do is get rid of that number. Okay, so that's a step that we didn't do yesterday, but like I said, it's a very simple one. We're going to get rid of that number, and we're going to write this as x squared plus 20x, leave a blank here, equals, and then just do that either on your own or on your calculator. We get negative 19. Okay. Then we're going to do what we were doing for problems 1 through 4 yesterday, and that is we're going to take half of the middle and we're going to square it, and then we're going to add that to both sides. Okay? So I take half of 20, that's 10. 10 times 10 is 100. We're going to add 100 to both sides. Okay? So this is going to give me x squared plus 20x plus 100. That's something I can factor into a nice perfect square. That was the whole idea. So then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to factor. Okay? So I factor that into x plus 10, or x plus 10 squared. Okay? Negative 19 plus 100 is 81. Okay? Once I've factored it, then I'm going to complete the square, I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Square root both sides. So I'm going to take the square root here, take the square root here. I get x plus 10 equal to positive or negative 9. Okay? Now get the variable by itself. So we're going to subtract 10. I'm going to jam that right in front there. So I got negative 10 plus or minus 9. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're just going to add and subtract. So x equals negative 10 plus 9, which is negative 1, and negative 10 minus 9, which is a negative 19. And there's our answer. Okay? So again, it's more than what we normally do, right? A lot of the stuff that we've done this year hasn't required this many steps, but it's all stuff I know you guys can do. You just have to practice it a little bit. So your worksheet today will give you 6 chances to kind of try that process. Some of them will work out nicely like this one did, to give you 2 nice answers. I want to do one more with you where it doesn't work out as nicely and show you again it's the same process. No big deal. So our first step says get rid of the constant term. So our constant term would be this negative 15. We're going to go plus 15. Okay, that's going to give us y squared minus 8y equals 25. Okay, next thing says let's take half of the middle, square that, and then add it to both sides. So I'm going to take half of 8, which is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. We're going to add 16 to both sides. Okay. Step 3 says to factor. So what times itself equals 16 and adds to equal negative 8? And that's negative 4 and negative 4. So I'm going to write that as y minus 4 squared. Over here, 25 plus 16 is 41. All right, we've done the factoring. Now we're going to take the square root of both sides. So I take the square root, I get y minus 4 equal positive or negative square root of 41. Now here's a case where this doesn't work out nice and neatly like the other one did. So we're just going to leave it for now. And in fact, in some cases, this becomes easier because you can just leave this as your answer when you're all done. So this says get the variable by itself. So we're going to add 4. We're going to put that right there. So y equals 4 plus or minus square root of 41. And again, a lot of people will just accept that. They'll say, hey, that's good enough for me. You don't have to do any more. But if you do need to do more, then no big deal. We'll just take our calculator, okay? And we'll go ahead and go 4 plus the square root of 41. And I get 10.403. So I'm going to write y equals 10.403. All right, and then I can actually go up here and copy it and then just make it a minus. Or I can type it in again if I want. Negative 2.403. So I would accept either of these on a multiple choice. You might have to pick one or the other, so be ready for that. But otherwise, that's it. So again, what I would do if I was you is just take these steps right here, all right, and just kind of follow them one by one. On your quiz, you can use this. On a test, you can use this. By all means, don't feel like you have to memorize them, but make sure you understand how to walk through all 6 of those.